Welcome to BMI's panel, I Wrote That Song. My name is Alex Flores, and I am the Senior Vice President of Creative at BMI. I am thrilled to introduce one of today's most coveted music producers and someone who's received several BMI awards, 16 to be exact. In addition, he is also one of this year's Latin Billboard Music Award Producer of the Year nominees, and this just in, a Latin Grammy nominee. Welcome, Tainy. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, all good. Thank you. How are you?
Great. Excited to have a conversation with you today and very, very proud of all of your achievements. Thank you so much for being part of the BMI family.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy and blessed to be here, to be mentioned with all these great artists, producers. Like, it's just a blessing. So, it's a happy moment and a happy time for me right now.
Let's start with a question that I feel might be on many people's minds. Tainy, how has it been working through quarantine?
Working through quarantine has been a different experience. I think not just for me, for a lot of people. And but at the beginning it was kind of confusing, not knowing what was going to happen. How long will this be? Are we going back to work? Like it was just a moment of like a lot of confusion and trying to figure out what's going to happen. But eventually, I think past a week or something, like I started like to see the positive in everything. It's just a time that we had like for us to think, to figure out, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing next? How are we going to do it? And sometimes do some research. Just start thinking inside, where do I want to like go with my music, my career, whatever, and what sounds do I want to try, and probably like listen to some vintage or old music that probably would inspire a little bit of that spark that you needed to come up with like something new. Like for me, that was special, like to reinvent myself a little bit, and started to talking with different artists also, and seeing that they're in the same page. They're trying to figure out what their next album is going to be, and like really giving it some thought, because like in our normal days, like within like flying and work and like and everything happening, you don't really have that time to just sit down and like just think and like go into the creative process like that deeply. And for me, that was something like really cool, and that really helped me a lot like during that time. And it's been amazing, like everything that we've been doing like in this like time in quarantine.
That's wonderful. Now, you touched a little bit on the creative process, and could you walk us through your creative process and your journey? You started making beats, then you became a writer producer. Now we're talking to Tainy the artist. How has that been?
It's been crazy. It's been a crazy transition. It's something that I never had in mind when I started my career. Like I started making just beats and like seeing if an artist would like it, if it's something that they will be into, like to do something for their project. And that was mainly about it. I would get the instrumentals, and they will lay the vocals and put the song out and everything. So I would just see the final product sometimes. But like going through like different stages and working with different types of artists, like I've gotten to be more involved in the creation of the track. I'll sit down with the artist, whether it's the main artist or the songwriter. Like it's just learning different process and different ways of creating a song. And that for me is been instrumental and special to grow as a producer, and now to go into this stage where I'm putting my own music out as an artist is something that I never imagined doing. And for it's not been that long, the time that I've been doing it, but the reception from the fans, the artists, everybody, it's just been crazy for the small amount of time that I've been doing it. So really blessed and really grateful with the team that we have, the artists that give me the opportunity to do this. And it's a special moment for me in my career.
Would you say that your process is similar, the same, or different from Tainy the songwriter, Tainy the producer, and Tainy the artist?
I mean, I attack it the same way. Like I just really go and start feeling everything out and see what connects with me, what makes me like feel okay. There's something special here. But at the end, you start to get more involved in like the other part of it, like okay, who do we want to like show this track to? Like, who would be the best people to embody this song? Like, then going eventually like, okay, what are we thinking video wise? Like, and who would be the director and all that part? Like for me is something special that I wasn't a part of before, and now to be able to like to be involved is special. The artwork, the name, like everything, every little detail is just something that makes it even more special. So it's been totally different, but like it's been a great journey, like learning and going through it, and I can't wait to keep out like putting more music out there.
Let's talk a little bit more about that collaborative process. You know, one of today's hottest songs is Un Dia, and you find yourself in a room with J Balvin, Bad Bunny, Dua Lipa, and Tainy. What does that look like? We know what it sounds like, but what was that process?
So that process, it took a while. It was one of those songs that we had to like get it like clearly and to perfection, because how we're talking like it's a lot of like star power in that song. But at the beginning it was just this idea that I went to LA and did some sessions, and we had like this hook on top of this beat that I also had like sitting there for a couple of years now, and nobody really connected with it. But eventually we got this song, and we saw we had something special. So by that time, I'm just like, Balvin is in LA at the same time, so we get together and I show it to him. He goes crazy about it. He starts to write something for his part, from his point of view, knowing what the song is about. And then it's just like, okay, who could be the person who sings this like amazing intro hook? And you know, the idea of Dua Lipa comes to mind, but I never worked with her. I'm a huge fan, but I never worked with her, so I don't know how easy would it be to connect with her and reach out. And you know, Balvin is one of the biggest artists in the world, so he eventually found a way to like connect. Also my team from our side, also like talking to management and seeing like, if she's down, if she's into it, it would be insane, because I can already hear it like with her tone, her voice. And it took a while, but it eventually she said she was down to do it. She recorded it, and it was like, this is like, it can't get any better than this. And eventually it did. Like Bad Bunny heard the song and he was like, okay, I'll jump on also. And it was just like a dream come true for a producer to have like not just one but three amazing artists in their own way in the same song. So you know, you want to make it perfect. So then I go back to like finishing up the beat, now that it has the three vocals and everything, so everything can like sound perfect together. And you know, everybody was putting out their albums also, so that took a little bit more time for it to come out also. But then eventually we finally finished it, but we wanted to do a video, but quarantine came in that time, so we weren't able to be at the same location to do the video. So that's another process, like how are we gonna make a video out of this, and brainstorming ideas, the director stills, and J Balvin talking to Ursula from Casa de Papel. Like, she's an amazing like actress, so she was down to do it. She did it on her own in Argentina, and it just like gave it like all the personality and all the feelings that the song like was emitting. So I think it just came out perfect. So it was a great journey, a great process, but eventually people got to hear the song, got to see the video. So I'm super blessed to be a part of it.
Speaking of important collaborations, you are now working with two incredible producers that we are proud to represent. Can you please introduce us to Albert and Jota and tell us a little bit about your journey, how you all came together?
Yeah, so Albert Hype and Jota Rosa are two amazing producers that I've been knowing for a while now, and we just like, it's just that connection that you feel just naturally creating our creative process, our creative way of seeing how music should be right now, and what we're doing, what we grow up listening to, and where we see music going forward. So to come together in our label and start doing our sound and our music, people just like feed off of that and come on over here, and they already know what they're looking for. And like for me, it's special to have them in our team, to have me, whether it's for guidance or, you know, or just to be there, because of the career that I've had me seeing when I started that I had the Looney Tunes to like guide me in certain aspects, like for me to be a part of that for them is special and truly blessed to be in it. So right now these are the guys that are gonna make some amazing music come going forward for the next like I don't know how many years, and I'm blessed to be a part of like their team too.
Amazing. Why don't we have them join us? Hola, hola. How are you guys? Hola. Good to have you on board. Thank you for joining us today. Why don't we start with Albert? Albert, before you join us, we were talking about collaborations and we were talking about working with other people and the process of that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Oasis and how was it working with Bad Bunny and J Balvin?
I had gotten a call one day that Bad Bunny had hopped on a beat of mine, and it was like very like I had sent out some beats like probably a couple months prior to that, and I was like I didn't believe it at first. I was like at first I was like yeah I didn't, because I had prior to that I had heard somebody like, oh, this might happen with this, or but then it ended up being like what it was, and they told me later that Balvin was hopping on it and that Tainy was gonna uh, jump on it too, and like it was like I don't know, it was like it changed my life obviously, and it was the whole Oasis experience, the way they rolled it out, the moment that that it was for the Latin community, the Latin music community, was just something special, and I feel super blessed to have been a part of it. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. That's, I can only imagine what it's like to get that call, right? Hey, somebody jump on your beat. That must be one of those moments where you just want to pinch yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. Yeah, yeah.
Ok, Jota, te voy a hacer la pregunta ahora sí que millonaria aquí. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Si pudieras trabajar con quien tú quisieras, cualquier artista, cualquier escritor, ¿quién sería y por qué?
Jota Rosa, le diría porque fue el músico que me inspiró a comenzar en esta carrera, escribiendo canciones y produciendo.
¿Has tenido la oportunidad de conocerlo?
Sí, he tenido la oportunidad de conocerlo, gracias a Dios, pero no de una forma, sino que una firma autógrafo y eso, pero no como que un estudio, pero vamos a ver, ojalá y pronto sea.
Estoy segura. Con el track record que ustedes tienen, absolutamente no tengo la menor duda que en menos de lo que te imaginas estás en el estudio con él.
Amén, amén.
En cuanto a los proyectos que están trabajando ahorita, ¿nos podían dar así como que un tease y decirnos en qué están trabajando y cuándo podemos esperar más música?
I mean, nosotros como niños seguimos trabajando música que queremos sacar nosotros. Nosotros estamos trabajando con Chris Floyd, que es un artista de la casa también, que estamos haciendo mucha música de él. So, pronto viene mucha música de él en camino, igual que Dylan Fuentes, que son los dos artistas que trabajamos aquí en el estudio. So, ahí de seguro tiene mucha producción de Jota Rosa, mucha producción de Albert Hype y mía también. Pero así cada cual tenemos diferentes artistas que siguen enviándonos proyectos y cosas. Hemos trabajado mucho con J Balvin, que ha empezado su proyecto nuevo. So, ahí hemos estado enviándonos, like sending files back and forth, like from here to, he's recording in Colombia. So it's been really cool, like that process for them to like get to like talk more with Balvin and seeing where he's going for. And like to have us all included in it is special and grateful. So that's one of the things that we're really like happy and looking forward to.
Albert, ¿por qué no nos dices un poquito de tu proceso de colaboración? ¿Es algo que prefieres hacer en persona o es algo que lo puedes hacer de manera a través de Zoom o a través del internet, en llamadas? ¿Cómo ha sido tu proceso ahora que estamos en cuarentena?
Depende, en verdad me gusta las dos maneras, en persona o por Zoom, mayormente yo siempre, I'm a loner, so like I don't really like you're looking at the guys I spend every day with, so but I mean I like being, as far as artists are concerned, I like working in the room with the artists because you get their immediate feedback and I like that the energy that the artist comes in with, you can like, it's a lot easier to translate into what they're trying to get across when working with them, as opposed to just sending out beats or something like that and just working remotely. So obviously in person is always the best route in my opinion. But I also like I've done a few Zoom sessions throughout quarantine, and mostly finishing songs with artists, which is kind of like, you know, the next best thing from being in the room with them. So where you can kind of like, you know, get that immediate feedback of something that they're you know, they're either feeling or not feeling or whatever. But yeah.
Y para ti, Jota, ¿cuál ha sido tu proceso ahora dentro de cuarentena?
Pues ha sido uno, diría yo, de bien creativo y de uno pues conocerse uno más y ver qué más puede inspirar a uno. Y creo que he hecho también de la mejor música que he hecho en mi vida, la he hecho durante este periodo porque me ha dado tiempo de reflexionar y buscar lo que realmente me inspiró a crear música cuando era más joven.
¿Qué consejo le darían? Eso va para los tres. ¿Qué consejo le darían a quienes nos están escuchando ahora, queriendo estar en la silla en la que ustedes están? ¿Por dónde empiezan?
Yo creo que ahí mismo, como estaba mencionando Jota, la inspiración es ver qué es lo que te llena a ti como fanático de la música, ver que si son ciertos instrumentos, si son ciertos tipos de ritmos, si es mezclar este género con este otro género que te guste y sacas un sonido nuevo totalmente. Yo creo que es encontrarte tú como artista, como productor, como compositor y ver qué es lo que te va a diferenciar a ti de toda esta música que está allá afuera, que todos los días salen canciones nuevas. So, like, finding yourself within everything that's happening, I think it's probably at the beginning people won't understand it sometimes, but eventually it will give you your own spot, your own thing, and you will have like your own set of fans, rather than just like doing whatever everybody's doing, and you just get stuck in that little phase for like a year and that's it. So I think that's the most special thing that I can tell like a new producer coming up is just find your sound, stick to it, and perfect it. Like practice is what's gonna like make that perfection. And now we have a little bit of more time to do that. So just make the most out of it, because the opportunities will come if you just push and you do your thing. But you just gotta be ready when that time comes. And what better way than just like dedicating to like perfecting your craft and like knowing who you are in this industry.
¿Cómo llega la siguiente generación de productores a las sillas en las que ustedes están, a los cuartos en los que ustedes pueden entrar, al acceso que ustedes tienen?
Pues yo creo que es creyendo en ti mismo primordialmente, todos los días trabajando, y eso de que dicen que nada es imposible, pues es cierto, ¿me entiendes? Hace muchos años yo estaba en un in-store de los Benjamins, del primer disco de Tainy, y hoy en día pues estoy trabajando con él de la mano, so que se cumple ahí eso que dicen de que lucha por lo que quiere, trabaja por tus sueños y nada es imposible. So que eso es lo que tengo siempre en mente, y para las nuevas personas que tengan metas como yo y de trabajar con los grandes de la música, eso es mi consejo, que trabajen todos los días y crean en ellos hasta el final, aun cuando nadie lo crea.
I'll just reiterate what Tainy and Jota said. Like the best advice I could give really is like, it's basically what I did. And which is what Tainy explained. Find your sound, like find your identity, what sets you apart from everything else that's happening, and then work at it every single day, like what Jota said. And it's a matter of, you know, just having patience and just keeping your head down and keep working, and eventually, like, you know, the stars will align. And as long as you're prepared and you're ready for when the opportunities come, and that's like pretty much it. It's like easier said than done, but that's basically the formula, I guess.
Tainy, what would you say has been the hardest lesson you learned in this industry?
The hardest, I think, you know, sometimes like as easy as it sounds, like believing in yourself, like sometimes you get a little bit confused along the way. Sometimes you start to second guess because people are probably not asking what you're feeling of like doing at the moment, and you feel like you're just, I'm doing the same thing, like I'm not gonna grow or whatever, and I start to believe that's what I need to do. And it's a lot of things that come into mind when you already have that first hit, and people want you to repeat that same thing like forever. And it's just like sometimes you'll get frustrated and you'll second guess yourself, and okay, I should just do this. But it's just realizing, like, at the end of the day, what's gonna make you happy, I think, will eventually translate to the fans and to the artists. And I had that a sort of like moment where I was like, I wanted to do this, but I can't see, like, to get people like to connect with it or whatever. So I started to do something else, but I wasn't feeling happy with what I was doing. So I just got back to it and to what really like inspired me from the beginning, and that eventually ended up like getting me this different opportunities and being ready for different opportunities when it came. And now you see me here today, thanks to just like putting all that belief in myself. And little by little, we start to like learn, whether it's production wise or the creative process, or whether it's the business side and the things that we like normally don't really know. We just come in because of the love we have for music, but there's another side to that. So little by little, like, we learn, and I'm grateful that I could probably like help the guys in certain things that probably I didn't know when I was in their stage, like having like realized everything, and probably not really make mistakes, but make the right decisions, and so it can have a better future eventually.
What about you, Jota? What would you say has been thus far? Así como la lección más dura que has enfrentado en tu carrera.
Pues entender que también es un negocio. Cuando uno entra y ama la música, pues uno piensa que uno todo pues es así como uno lo siente, y a veces hay que ceder un poco para poder llegar a otros lugares, a poder inspirar personas, a poder seguir cosechando nuevas metas y teniendo nuevas cosas por cumplir. So que eso es lo más que a mí me ha costado, y también la exposición, las cámaras, las fotos, las redes sociales, esas cosas son, yo creo que es lo más difícil.
Absolutamente. Es para ti, Jota, ahora que estás en la compañía de Albert y de Tainy, y también para ti, Albert, que estás en esta mancuerna tan productiva. ¿Qué es para ti tu momento ideal en un futuro? ¿Qué es lo que les gustaría hacer juntos que aún no ha hecho? ¿Alguna colaboración juntos que a lo mejor estamos, digamos, puedes imaginarte que pase en un futuro, que los tres estén trabajando en el álbum de alguien, o a lo mejor Jota y Albert tienen el deseo de traer talento también a formar parte de la familia Neon 16?
Pues yo creo que ya hemos colaborado juntos en álbumes también, y ya pues también hemos estado trabajando con nuevos talentos, quizás traer nuevos talentos en el futuro, pero por ahora seguir trabajando lo más acoplado que todos estemos en familia, todo el mundo que colabore en los álbumes que vayan saliendo, y que ver los nombres en los créditos de tanto de Tainy como de Albert me llena de felicidad, y igual que como las nominaciones a los Grammys ahora y eso, que ver sus nombres ahí también en los discos que hemos trabajado, los que han llegado, pues me llena de orgullo, y yo sé que ellos también.
Sí, yo pienso same thing. Eventually vamos a seguir teniendo diferentes proyectos en los que siempre vamos a tratar de involucrarnos todos ahí lo más que podamos. Para mí es mil veces mejor yo poder trabajar un disco, pero ver que mis compañeros y personas de las que yo estoy votando por ellos para que logren y hagan sus sueños y todos formen parte de eso, para mí eso es mucho más importante. Pues se ven esas oportunidades que se le empiezan a dar, y eso pues llena a uno de alegría. Yo pienso que eventualmente eso es lo que vamos a seguir haciendo aquí en Neo 16, nuestro estudio, que la gente venga y vea lo que estamos haciendo, y pues quiera que formemos parte de eso también, pero eventualmente sí. Si sería
Que sigan
trabajar
los
con algún
éxitos.
talento nuevo diferente o seguir reforzando y guiando esta carrera que está empezando a tener Chris Floyd o Dylan Fuentes, ya que está en una etapa muy inicial de su carrera. Eso es algo de lo que estamos súper contentos, porque estamos en conjunto viendo hacia dónde lo queremos llevar y qué queremos hacer. So, de verdad que ha sido un proceso bien diferente y súper cool para nosotros.
Bueno, pues mira, muchísimas gracias. La verdad que es un orgullo el poder compartir este panel con ustedes, ser parte de su trayectoria y ver, Tainy, ver dónde empezaste, dónde estás, las posibilidades que tienes en un futuro, este tremendo talento que tienes, el compartirlo con gente como Albert, como Jota, bastantes generaciones que vienen, pero más importante, ¿verdad? Es aquellas personas que a lo mejor no saben ahorita para dónde ir y cómo colaborar con otras personas. Así que muchísimas gracias por darles un poquito de tu tiempo, compartir con ellos este momento, inspiración que tanto lo necesitamos ahora con todo lo que estamos pasando. So thank you all. Thank you very much for being part of our panel. It is a privilege and an honor to be part of your team and your extended family. I hope we can see each other in person one day soon. Muchísimas gracias. Cuídense mucho. Que estén muy bien.